All right, back here with Captain Marty in this kind of Christmas-themed stories that we've got going on, and Marty's got quite a few good ones. Captain, we've talked about the Christmas trees. We've talked about the bad Santa, Mr. Paul Spencer. Let me ask you this. Gift giving. Do you think that, would you consider yourself somebody that's good at giving gifts? Like you find that perfect gift every time? How would you describe that?
I'm not very good at that. And the way you test yourself for that, is ask, like with your kid, your boys, remember anything you got them last year? Mostly, I can't remember what I got everybody, and I get too much, I spend too much, and then Christmas morning comes in 60 seconds, it's all over.
Yes.
With. And then you don't hear anything like I'm thinking of some gifts, the Easy Bake Oven for one, the scientific microscope for one. Those things all like, whatever happened to them?
Dude, the Easy Bake Oven's awesome. I would take one of those.
But, there are years where you have gifts that you create memories from. I'm going to tell you about a year we had two things happen.
Okay.
Both of them were memories, and neither one of them were all that great. I'll be back to do that in just a moment.
Teachers Lair Marina in Hatteras Village is the closest spot on the Outer Banks to the Gulf Stream. Just inside Hatteras Inlet, Teachers Lair is fully loaded with bait, tackle, ice, snacks, and drinks for your fun-filled day out on the water. Want to get rigged up to catch the big one? Lee and the gang in the tackle shop can outfit you to catch whatever is eager to get hooked. To see the marina, the tackle shop, or to book a charter, go online to teacheslair.com. Teachers Lair Marina in Hatteras Village. Your fishing venture awaits.
Real. That's the first word that comes to mind when I think about Outland Seafood in Mans Harbor. Yeah, they're the first and last place you see coming to and leaving the Outer Banks on Highway 64 in Dare County, but they're also real when it comes to fresh local seafood. Troy Outland, real. Curtis and Josh, real. The indoor crab shedders, real. Stop by and see for yourself right next to White Shopping Center and check them out on social media. Outland Seafood in Mans Harbor, real.
So back in the day when my girls were little, again, it was really time to shop and go Christmas shopping, and they were pretty excited about a couple things. One was they had got a gift for me that they were dying to give me.
Okay.
Put them together, and they were like, that year, they were like 7 and 10 years old.
Okay.
So I'm like, wow, they're getting old enough. They probably must have thought something out. And they kept saying, Dad, you're not going to believe it. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. So that was pretty good. Meanwhile, my youngest daughter, Katie, had been diagnosed with type 1 diabetes.
Okay.
And you know all about that.
Yes, sir.
And it was a lot to hoist aboard, as Omi would say. We had some visitors in our store when I had my store on the beach. They were firefighters from over around Pittsboro, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And they had heard us talking about Katie's diagnosis and everything that day, and they had heard us talking about how we really wanted to get a horse for our daughters that year. Well, believe it or not, they went on back home, and I remember meeting with them. They called me a week later and said, we found a horse for your daughters. And I go, well, what? And they're like, yeah. And our fire department would like to donate it to your daughters. We know what you're dealing with. And believe it or not, the horse's name, its given name was Sugar.
Okay.
Believe it or not. And so all you got to do is find a way to come get it. And then, of course, we had to find a place to keep it on Roanoke Island. We had to figure a way to go get it. And our babysitter, our adult babysitter, had a horse and a horse trailer, and she let us borrow that. She knew about all of it. We made an arrangement with somebody up on the highway that had a small horse pen and a corral. So we had all that figured out. And my wife and I went and got it, and that in itself was a trip to behold.
Oh.
You know, getting a horse, pulling a horse trailer, bringing it back, and hiding it in that horse place a couple days before Christmas, and keeping it secret. So that was the setting for Christmas morning. Well, so two things going on. Well, for starters, I went and I said, "Do you want me to?" We opened some presents, and I said, "Do you want me to open your special present?" And they said, "Not until you've given us all of ours. We want yours to be the last thing you open. It's so special.
Okay.
You're going to love it." It was about 3 feet long, about 18 inches across, and about 2 inches high, and kind of heavy in the package. I'm like,
okay.
What could it be?
Uh-huh.
I said, well, if that's the case, we have to take a little break because I have to run out for a minute. And So I had to go up to the end of our street by the highway and get this horse, which I don't know much about horses. I have nothing but bad experience.
Yeah, me too.
With horses. And I brought the horse on what do you call it? On a halter, the reins, whatever.
Right, yeah.
On a rope.
Yeah, on a rope. There we go. I don't know the technical terms.
Christmas morning, and everybody was coming out on their porch like, this is going to be a really cool gift for these girls. So I brought it down there, and my wife had them like hiding in the back room, and then we tied the horse up to a tree out front, and then said, all right, your last present's out in the front yard. Went out there, and there was Sugar, the horse. And of course, you look at their little faces, little girls, horse, they were thrilled. At least they appeared to be anyway. And so it was really exciting. So we, of course, looked at the horse for about 20 minutes, and then they're like, well, we got one more present to open. So I was like, I myself was getting pretty anxious about what have they bought me? It's been under the tree for 2 weeks, So I went back inside. Of course, we all sit down, got the old movie camera rolling and everything.
Oh, yes.
And their little faces were just bright with anticipation. And I opened it up.
And what was it his girls were so excited to give him? We're going to find out in just a bit.
At the south end of Roanoke Island, in a quiet little village, lies a marina known for having one of the finest fishing fleets on the Outer Banks. Whether it be an offshore excursion, a nearshore charter, or headboat fishing, Wanchese Marina is where to go. Wanchese Marina is a full-service marina, complete with a fueling dock, bait, tackle, ice, and the landing grill restaurant. All of this is just a few minutes from some of the finest fishing spots around. Book online at wanchesemarina.com. Wanchese Marina, 4457 Mill Landing Road, Wanchese.
Do you know, have you ever heard the story before? Just do you know what it might have been?
I feel like I've heard it, but I honestly don't remember, Captain.
Well, I'm not taking anything away from anybody. I'm not trying to be ungrateful in any way. But it wasn't a new shotgun or box of bullets or anything like that. I opened it up, and it was Richard Simmons sweating to the oldies stair stepper. It was a stair stepper that you put the Richard Simmons video on TV.
I remember
and he
now.
danced all around, and there's his outfits, and you stepped up and down off the. Now, keeping in mind, they did it because they wanted their father to be in better health. I get that, but I was pretty much less than jubilant. But I still had to have that face, I still had to look. Because it meant a lot to them, and I think I did it. Well, later that morning, I had to do it for them. You got to try it, Dan. You got to watch Richard Simmons. I've just never been a fan, although he did a lot of good for a lot of people.
Yeah, that's true.
But I just was not his biggest fan. Anyway, but I put on an act, and I thought my act would have won me an Oscar until I found out later that when the girls came out and saw that horse and were so excited that was an act as well, because my babysitter had already told them they were getting a horse for Christmas.
You're kidding.
I could not believe it. And they totally did that act to make me happy, so it was like a two-way street.
Wow.
I was so disappointed that we drove 6 hours. We hauled a horseback. We hid it for, several days, and then the big moment came and they already knew. And luckily they didn't let on that they knew, and I was not very happy. It was one of those Christmases that I'm remembering for not all the best of reasons, but hey, we got over it. That's the way Christmas is when you have kids around the house, as you probably know.